Welcome to One Nation. I am your host, Divine Minister, Dr. Cedric Pearson Bey of the Moorish American Government. Welcome to the Moorish American Counseling. Here we are teaching today's topic, history and law. We're going to have these dates of discussion. And I had to start right here with say all dates are CE, which is Common Era. So our ancestors and the people who did the historical studies, what they say is that AD, Amano Domino, is saying year of our Lord, so that didn't have anything to do with us. And we'll be talking about that, specifically dealing with 325. And so, as I stated, you have dates of discussion. 325, 711, 1492, 1774, 1776, 1779, 1865, 1868, 1871. Now, the reason that we are keying in on these specific dates is because these specific dates are built. They're building blocks for the USA as a collective whole, as well as they tell the story of the chattel slavery and the process of what this went through. Again, it goes through the specific laws and things of that nature that was founded to implement this gigantic corporation. And so, of course, we'll be dealing with words to define as well. And these words to define, you can go and look them up right now, or you can wait. I'm going to say them. I'm going to go through the dictionary as well, but you can do if you're further. You might got a different dictionary or something to where you will go. They'll give you a different measure. You know, we have to study to show ourselves approved. That's even in the Piscean records, or what they call the Holy Bible. But history, law, slavery, government, constitution, and organization. Now, again, this is our foundation. This is what we're going to be building from. And if you pay attention, we've been through. This is our third part. We do segments. And in these special segments, we have each segment broke down. We have nationality, we have the divine creed, and here is the history and the law. And we'll be going over these for these are our basic foundation, or our portions of this is where we'll build our understanding on those different topics. You see, today's topic, I always have today's topic, they will basically stem from those four things, because these are earth, they're just gigantic and helping us to understand where we came from and where we're going. So let's get right into this thing. As you can see, I have www.moorishamericangov.org. Now this is where you can go, Moorish Nationals, and find out who you are as a collective whole and become a citizen of your own government. It is customary that you'll find soon that I rise and pray and give all praises to Allah, who is the author, creator, governor of the world, almighty, eternal, incomprehensive, the only one worthy of worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. I give honors to our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El Haj Sharif Abdul Ali, who uttered, "This movement is for the young and yet born." He said, "The third and fourth generation shall see the goods of my work." He said, "If the European is just, they will have an Asiatic president and a European president." Give honors to Marcus Mosaic Garvey, who uttered, "One aim, one God, one destiny." He said, also uttered, "Up, up, you mighty race, and accomplish what you will." Give honors to everything Moorish, here, there, and everywhere. Give honors to the Moorish American government and all of its officials, and most especially our citizens. The Divine Constitution of Moorish America. Salvation, our God, unity. The Divine Constitution of Moorish America, Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body. The Assistant Grand Sheik is the Assistant Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The Bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and it was on Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother and sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws of this said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, black, colored folk, Ethiopians, SubhanAllah. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopian, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted to 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era in time now, and all men now must proclaim their national name and be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part of the uplifting of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey husband, take care of the children, look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother, and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their heart and mind pure with love and their body clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Islam, Islam, Islam. Welcome to One Nation. Today's topic is history and law. Again, we'll be discussing these special dates and defining these words. Let's start with the words, because this is our base. Go in alphabetical order, for lack of better words. So the first word we'll be dealing with is Constitution. Constitution, an established law or custom, ordinance. The act of establishing, making, or setting up. The physical makeup of the individual comprising inherited qualities modified by environment. Physique, the structure, composition, physical makeup, or nature of something. The mode in which a state or society is organized. The manner in which sovereign power is distributed. Now, you know with every word, there's multiple meanings. It could be multiple meanings. And in this case, I just read 3 or 4 of them. But we want to key in on the topic and what we're talking about. The reason that we're speaking about Constitution is because we're speaking about government. And dealing with that special government, you see that I stopped at one particular, and this is what we're going to deal with. And it states, the 4th one, the mode in which a state or society is organized. It says the fundamental principles of a nation, state, or body politic that determines the power and duties of the government and guarantee certain rights to the people, and that together constitute the organic law of the land. And so, dealing with this Constitution, we understand that this we have the United States of America Constitution, and we know that in these dates, if you know history, then you know that it's somewhere in here that we're going to be talking about that. I want to demonstrate, make sure that we got these words in our psyche so we can bring them back into memory in time of need. And so next we'll be moving right along, keeping it moving, and we'll be dealing with the word government. Government. The continuous exercise of authority over and the performance of function for a political unit. Now, I stop right there because that about sums it up, as far as dealing with that. But again, when you go into dictionaries that have multiple meanings, you can go and find your own portion of your understanding. But that's the one that they gave in this one. History is the next one we'll be talking about. A chronological record of significant events as affected a nation, institution, usually including explanation of their causes. Wow, that's pretty good there. I like that one. Next, we'll be dealing with law. Law governs all events. Law, the instructor or the Grand National Chairman of Moorish America, which is he would be like he one of the top officials of the Moorish American government. He often states and tells us that law, land, air, water. I said that's pretty powerful because law governs all events. So that's just to throw out something to you. Law, a binding custom or practice of a community, a rule of conduct or action prescribed or formally recognized as binding or enforced by a controlling authority, the whole body of such custom, practices, or rules. Pretty self-explanatory. Next we'll be going into organization. The act or process of organizing and or being organized. The condition or manner of being organized. Association, administrative and functional structure. Yeah, that's a good one there. I like it. That was good. We'll be dealing with slavery. Submission to a dominating influence. The state of being a slave. The practice of slave holding. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty strong. And so, as we see what these words define, they set the record or set the tone as we get into these dates. And we'll be going according to history. That what they stated in that history in the definition, in the chronological order. So we'll begin with 325. Now, the interesting thing about 325 is that sometimes it's speculated as it could be different. Some people say 323, some people say 325, some people say 326. So you can do your study or your history to find out. But what we're specifically dealing with is that you look up the Council of Nicene as you see. And so the Council of Nicene, when we're dealing with the Council of Nicaea, this is where we'll find out that Christianity began in Rome. Now, why does that matter where it began? Because you have to know where you come from in order to get to where you're going. And so, in dealing with this Christianity, we find out that there was multiple religious beliefs and ways of life that was implemented into one big thing. Before 325, it was forbidden to be what they called a Christian. That was getting crucified. That's when you deal with some of the crusades. I think that was the first crusade that had manifested around that time, 311, somewhere around there. So you can do your research about that as well. But we specifically talk about the Nicaea because with Nicaea, the Council of Nicaea and the Constantinople, what they did was they implemented. They said Christianity would take Sunday as a national day of worship. And what we'll do is we'll put all of the pagan gods and all that, we'll put it all together. We'll formulate what is now known as Christianity. Now, the thing about Christianity is that you'll find is that not only did it begin in Rome, but the biblical text, or when you go into the Bible, that special Bible is nothing but a historical African book. It comes from when you go into those different realms. Africa was in those books already. This is history. Now, the reason that it's so prominent to understand that this began in there, because this also shows you how the 10 families had split at one particular time. You had the Franks, the Almonds, the Burgards. You can go to National Sunday Law, the book. And so the interesting thing about 325 is this book, National Sunday Law, gives a magnanimous definition. It defines what happened then, what happened through Revelations. It also breaks down the different families when dealing with the 10 horned, 10 horns in Revelation, dealing with Germany, France, Switzerland, Portugal, Britain, Spain, Italy. All of these were part of that Roman Empire. When that Roman Empire fell, you know, dealing with Greece, you go back to Greece. All of this is you need to know this historical base, because when you go back to Greece, you go back to Aristotle and Plato and all of them. And when you go back further than them, they lead and guide you back to Egypt. Now, we will get into that soon, but that's why I put this star to let you know all dates are common era, because we're going to deal with the common era first and then go back there so you can get the understanding of how all of the tongues split up and all of that thing. So now that we know a little bit about 325, and you know, I gave you a book to reference to, which is a great book. We're going to go to 711. Now, when we go to 711, we deal with the Moorish Empire. Now, the thing about the Moorish Empire is that it was the capital of the West was Morocco. Morocco was the capital of the West. And anything west of Egypt was part of the Moorish Empire. The pharaohs had got permission from the pharaohs to settle in the West, and that's when our ancient forefathers, the so-called Negro, black, and colored, if you remember in Acts 6, I stated that we are teaching our people the nationality and the divine creed that they know that they are part of this said government, which is the Moorish American government, and know that they are not Negroes, blacks, coloreds, and Ethiopians. Now, these are slave names. They slave names. Those were given unto us. Before then, we knew nothing of Negro, black, and colored. Negro, of course, is Spanish for black. Black, according to science, means death. Colored means something stained, varnished, or stained, or dyed. Ethiopia means something divided. In fact, when you go into history, you will find out that Ham and Cush split the land, the son and the father. And that was when they split the land, the Ethiopia was the demarcation line to split the lands. And so this is historical base. That's why you still got Ethiopia to this day. That's right there on that demarcation line. And so 711 was when Tariq had first went over into Spain. This was the first time that we ever went into the Netherlands, or the Forbidden Lands. They called it the Forbidden Lands, which was Europe. The reason that they got the name Europe is because that was the goddess. Tell you that the Great Wall of China was built to keep the forbidden on one side. That's how vast our history is. And like I said, we'll get into that later on, but I just, it's key that I give you those things so when we go back, it won't be fresh, and you'll be able to digest it. So when Tariq went over to Spain, he took over, and he was a general. He went over there and he showed them irrigation. He showed them mathematics, science. So in 711, Tariq the general, he went into Spain, what they call today as Spain. And when he went to Spain, he brought forth all of the sciences of the Moors. He brought aggregation, bath. It was forbidden for them to take baths over there at that particular time. The queen and this is documented, she took a bath every, 6 months or something? They didn't know how to corral the animals. I mean, we taught them mathematics. They thought it was magic. We taught them all other sciences and all medicine, agriculture, architecture. Alhambra is over there right now, one of the most beautifulest structures on the planet right now, probably one of the 7 wonders. But this was all implemented through the Moors. And so that Moorish Empire, again, extended anything west of Egypt. Anything west of Egypt, that included North, South, Central America, the 7,000 adjoining islands, Alaska, Hawaii, Canada, Greenland, all of that. Yeah, all of that was the part of the Moorish Empire. We was the first ones to circumnavigate the whole entire landmass over 10,000 years ago. This is recorded. So when Tariq went over there, again, like I stated, he went and he implemented all that. And we stayed over there. We stayed over there a good long time until this next 1492. Now, what's so interesting about 1492 is that we find that the Jews, Queen Isabella, Queen Ferdinand, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, some of the people from Egypt, some of the people from Palestine had transpired against the Moors, plotted on the Moors, and started expelling us out of Spain. Now, when they started expelling us out of Spain, this is when the West Atlantic slave trade had became in full throttle. It started the ones who didn't surrender and weren't killed were sent as slaves, point blank period. And so from 325 to 1492, here's where we find that it's a stolen legacy. Because when you look in the dictionary and you look at the word Moor, you find Berbers and Arabs, and the Arabs didn't invade until the year of 325, somewhere around that time, until they even stepped foot in Africa. And so all of these things is pertinent as far as knowing the history, because after this is when they started implementing law. And we found out that law is different ordinances and things of that nature. And so we definitely get to talking about that. But it was expedient that we knew these special dynamic dates, because these are untold legacies that will help mold us to understand that we were one nation of people. When we went over there in 711, there was no killing. We didn't kill them if they was Christians or they was Romans. We didn't. We just taught. We loved. We was a peaceful people, and we gave the signs like we were supposed to give it, and that was that. They didn't start transpiring evil and expulsion until they transpired against us. And so, that's what So we got the history, the slavery. Now we're gonna get into the law, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. This is that first segment, and like I said, I just wanted to deal with those special dates, because when you do your own research, you'll be able to get a better understanding. Again, this is One Nation. I am your host, Divine Minister, Dr. Cedric Pearson Bey, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Have a blessed day. Peace.
U.S. in America. They on our land, they squat. U.S. in America. They don't own nothing, they just run. U.S. in America. That's actually Moorish America. First off, may I present Independence 1776 BCL events, slave, or 1774 denationalization for the Moors. How about 1492? All I can say is, woe to the Jew is this conspiracy of the Willie theory, or a Northwest Hemisphere where Harama Biff was buried.
Exposing all secret organizations
In the shallow grave of assumable jurisdiction of your corporation. 1871, Martian corporate and not a sovereign nation.
American government.
Remember 1863, your debt of your founding fathers. My founding father is alive, sober than my seven. Fruition is my third heaven. No apologies, 13 colonies. Your mandate is expired. 50,000-year-old flag return Moors empire. Earth, fire, water, and air. Decline the ancient God, man is air. Although Satan was called God, and I thought that it was I. White means purity, and purity is God.